Hey guys, Ashwalker coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. I feel a little small today, man. I feel a little small. There we go. There we go. Guys, welcome to the video. First off, before we jump into it here, thank you for supporting my sponsor, Aura. All your data covered in the link below, or in the show notes below, in the pinned comment. I don't know. It'll be somewhere down there if you want to check it out for your internet and your personal security. Also, I'm going to be traveling for 5 days for work. I'm going to try to pre-record a few champion guides, but it will not be the same alacrity as you're used to here on the channel. I'm super passionate. I just want to say that right now for those of you who are tuning in every day. I really appreciate you guys. I see you in the comments. I appreciate the love here on this project. This channel, which I can kind of consider a project, right? Trying to make a guide on every champion in the freaking game, right? So I will be back to like 2 champions a day on weekdays and 1 a day on the weekends. After I return back. Just wanted to let you guys know. So Barca says it must soon be time for your Ashwalker guide. You know what, man? You're absolutely right, Barcus. You're absolutely right. Let's talk about my man, Ashwalker. It was so cool for Plarium to fly me over there just to put all the sensors all over every inch of my body. Well, maybe that's a little bit extreme. Put the sensors on my body and have me doing all the, I did this. I did that with that big hammer. Okay, I didn't, but I like to pretend that I did. I mean, he has my name in his name, Ashwalker, so I like to pretend that he was made just for me, guys. Just like Hell Freak was made just for Hell Hades, you know? Champion lore is not there. Way to go, Plarium, snubbing my character. I love that. But there he goes, swinging his axe. Knights Revenant is, as I mentioned before, my favorite faction in the game. I think they have the coolest backstory. They're a death cult, which I find oddly intriguing. So anyway, he's a rare attack-based champion, guys. His base stats are, boy, dude, they didn't give me much HP. 10,900, oof. His attack, much better, 1,500, 1,498, defense 804, speed 103. He does bring a pretty weak speed aura, 12%, but it's in all battles. So definitely useful in early to mid-game accounts or in end-game content where you're using all rare champions, which we'll be using today. On the A1, great hammer. Attacks one enemy, resets the cooldown of the Devastator skill if this attack kills an enemy. Not too bad. His Devastator is a really good ability as well. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, attacks one enemy, has a 60, 75, 85% chance when booked of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. But this is the cool part. Decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 10% as long as the attack is critical. So some nice control there for a single target attack with really good multipliers. Actually, let's look at the multipliers right after we talk about the A3 Backbreaker. This is his main nuke. 3-turn cooldown. Attacks all enemies, 100% chance when booked out of placing the small version of Weaken for 2 turns. I want to start by touching on who should be maxing out this champion, right? As much as I kid about how much I love him, and I do, I think he's a really cool champion, like all jokes aside. To me, in the early game, he's really kind of just a faction war champion, you know? You can get some utility out of him. He can do a little bit of DPS as well. But where the game is right now as opposed to 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, I mean, 4 years ago, I would say Ashwalker's almost a must max, right? Because there weren't that many damage dealers out there, but now there's so many that keep adding to the game. So I feel like an early player may just take him to level 50. And just see what they think of him, right? Use the build that I'm going to share today because I love this build on this champion. And then when you're done with Faction Wars or when you get a better option, you can simply go back to him when you need him for the late game. Because you will, I wouldn't say you're going to need him, but he's definitely useful in the late game. I use him on my main account, right? And we'll talk about why, and I'll show you that secret room as well in case you haven't seen it on some of my other rare videos. So there he is, Ashwalker. Talking about his multiplier, shout out to AftershockUnited.gg. You can see their tier list. They have all the multipliers. They have a pretty in-depth ranking on all of these champions. They give him a 22.1, which is pretty dang low. I think they're snubbing my man Ashwalker. But anyway, Great Hammer has a 3.2 attack multiplier, Devastator a 5 multiplier, and Backbreaker a 3.5. I have to say a 5 multiplier plus the turn meter is a really hard-hitting A2, and keep in mind the stun as well. So a really nice control ability. And then the 3.5, he can definitely smack for a rare champion, right? That's what makes him void to me. The control that we get, The weak version of Weaken, if you don't have it, it's nice to have. Even the weak version of Weaken is 15% more damage on all, anybody that you're attacking, right? With the Weaken debuff. So there we go. Not to mention the speed aura. So we talked about the good, talked about the bad, his HP, space stats, meh. All right, here's how I built Ashwalker, guys. I gotta scroll way down to see my man. I should have used him ahead of time, my bad, guys, and had him ready to go in the recently used. So I do believe I have some blessings on him. Spoiler alert, I went with Phantom Touch on Ashwalker, right? So you can see blessings. I think that Phantom Touch is the way to go for this champion. You get some more survive. 1,000 extra HP is massive when you only have 10k as a base, right? You get a little bit extra crit damage, which is really good too, and attack, right? So I like this. This is at a 4-star awakening right now. If we get all the way down to 6 stars, we'll get the 100% chance to inflict the bonus damage, plus a 35% chance of inflicting a second instance of bonus damage, okay? It also makes him helpful. Phantom Touch counts as a hit, so I guess, you could use him in super early Fire Knight if you happen to have the blessings. I don't know. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but either way, I digress. Let's go ahead and take a look. You guys know already what kind of build I put this champion in, man. I would go defense in support or defense in offense. I didn't need... Well, you know what? I probably did. You know what? Screw this. Oh. Do I want to pay the gems, guys? I guess. Ugh. I don't feel good about it, but listen. So he is a damage dealer. But let's be real. I mean... That one AoE, even though with good multipliers, where I'm going to be using this dude, I need him to be a control champion. And again, we spoke about it already. He's going to be bringing the damage pretty much no matter what, right, on that A3. But I need him to be getting a critical hit, right? So let me see what I have his crit rate at right now. Oof. I had it at 99. Now it's at 94. I don't really like that too much. So we're going to have to swap out gear here. Crit rate. Oh, look at that helmet. We have him in a stun set. I'm just going to chill with you guys and do it all with you. So stun, I love these priority stats, guys. Do you? Man, it's so easy to find gear now. It's beautiful. All right, so who's a champion that I don't use? Crap, I use them all. You know what? I can use this right here. Nizana, I don't use. So there we go. Now he's crit capped. Okay, we're good. Because I don't want to go offense tree. And there's nothing wrong with going offense tree on this champion. I want to be very clear. If you're using him for Faction Wars for DPS or in the early game for dungeon DPS, of course, you can go with crit rate. You can go crit damage. You can come down. You can end with War Master, preferably in dungeons where you're looking for him to do a little bit of damage against bosses with high max HP. Or if you're using him as a wave killer, you can go with Helm Smasher. Pretty basic stuff there. But the way I'm using him, I want a little bit more accuracy because I really want to make sure that we're decreasing that turn meter of all enemies off that A2. So I'm going to pick the 3 accuracy masteries. I'm going to go with Evil Eye, more turn meter manipulation off this champion. I'm going to go with Master Hexer to extend the duration of that weaken. And then I'm going to pause on the support tree. This is what I like doing, right? When I pick up my masteries on any champion, I never copy. I mean, I've been playing the game for a million years. I've been uploading on, 2, 3 YouTube channels talking about the game, right? So I never copy masteries anymore. However, what I do is I like to come down to one of the trees and only select one. I also like to forecast a little bit, think ahead, right? So if I really wanted to get the elixir of life for the extra HP, I'm going to have it in the back of my head. I'm going to need to start veering to the left here eventually, right? But what for all intents and purposes, I pick out one. And then I go to the main tree that I definitely want to take advantage of. And then I start getting a little bit greedier there. So I want to go with defense. I want to go with blast proof, mitigate damage from AoE attacks, resurgent. As I always say, is one of the best masteries in the game. Delay death, sure, especially against the red boss, stuff like that, right? And then I can go cycle of revenge, 50% chance of increase the turn meter by 15% when an ally is attacked with a critical hit. There's not a lot of critical hits that we have to worry about where we're going to be using him, but I think that's going to be the way to go despite that, because we want to come down and end with Fearsome Presence. I have him in a stun set. Even though he only has 1 AoE, it's on a 3-turn cooldown, which is nice. He has control built into his A2 anyway, and as you guys have heard me say, in the end game, when we talk about all these rare-only secret rooms, I just love having them in stun sets. All the champions, they're still going to do damage, man. They still have 100% crit rate and plenty of crit damage, right? Good multipliers. don't feel like if you're not going offense on a DPS champion that you're like making this massive, massive mistake where you're missing out on all this damage. Sure, you're missing out on damage. There's no doubt about it. And the offensive masteries are very powerful. But sometimes just that extra 5% chance of landing a stun. And keep in mind, even though we only have one AoE, we still get the chance of placing the stun on his A1, from a stun set, and we have the stun built in as well, plus a stun from the set on the A2. So I still like going Fearsome Presence on this champion, man. I want everybody on my team to be landing a stun on all the enemies, so every chance counts, okay? It's a little bit of an unorthodox build. Again, I stress this. In the early game, in the mid game, you're probably better off just going offense tree. Offense and support is probably where I would go. So anyway, with that said, Harvest Despair. We always talk about this. If we have a stun set on a champion, we want to get Harvest Despair because that gives him a 60% chance of placing a leech whenever he's placing his stuns. And he has stun in his kit as well. So Harvest Despair, getting that leech, now he's going to bring heals to the table. 18% of the damage dealt, healed on all allies when attacking somebody against a leech, when they attack somebody against a leech. So Retribution, well, let me check. That is 100%, right? It's 100% on the weekend. And that's it. So there's no reason at all to get Evil Eye. So we might as well go Retribution. If by chance we kill somebody with the Retribution proc, it's going to reset the A2, the cooldown on that A2, which is great, Not going to happen very often, but when it does happen, it's going to be fantastic. All right, I'm also going to pick up Arcane Celerity. More turn meter increase when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expires. And then I'm going to go ahead and, what do I want to go with? I think I'm going to go with Exalted Death. Heals his champion by 10% of their max HP the first time an enemy is killed in each round. Just a little bit of heal to top him off as we get to the next waves, because sometimes, especially in Doom Tower Hard, where we're going to be showcasing him today, sometimes you get to that second or third wave and your team is like on life support and you don't have revivers or a lot of healers. So I think that's a pretty decent mastery to pick up. So we talked about his blessings, we talked about his skills, we talked about his masteries. Now let me show you the build. We have 104, 149 on crit rate, crit damage, 224 in the accuracy. Not super high, but it is high enough for where we're using him. 220 on the speed. And you can see 31K and 2800 is pretty dang good in terms of survivability, given his base stats, how bad they are. We got there through a lot in part through accessories, right? Defense on the banner. We did go crit damage on the amulet. And then we have HP with a trip roll of HP on the ring, right? So that's going to really help get that HP and make up for his low base HP. Speed on the boots, defense percentage on the chest, and crit rate on the gauntlets. So I do like building this champion with either defense percentage or HP percentage on his chest as well, his chest piece, because, man, he's so squishy. He's not going to be any good to us if he's dead. That's a lesson for you new players out there. Even if they're a nuker, even if they're a damage dealer, again, I stress, with 33, 78 attack, 104 and 149, he's still going to be doing a lot of damage on our team. So it's good enough. He's better off, doing a little less damage and staying alive than he is dead. There we go. All right, so guys, let's go ahead and bring him into the secret room, right? Now, there's a few secret rooms in this rotation that are rares only. The one that I have set up for you guys, nope. Is it secret room 12? Secret room nope, that's magic only. My bad. Is it 10? Is it 9? Sorry, guys. Okay, there it is. Secret room 9. We're running him as an aura lead, giving that extra speed. And we're running him with everybody else on the team is in a stun set, I think. Time will tell. So, let's see how hard he hits. Let's see what the strategy is here. We come in with a decreased defense of Khazard. Well, actually, we led off with Ashwalker, my bad. So you can see, he placed the weaken, even despite that pretty low accuracy, to be fair. 220, was it? He still landed the weaken on every single opponent. Now look at this. One little leech and another little leech. So we're getting leeches, we're getting stuns, and we're getting weakens all from one ability, all from one AoE. That's very, very powerful here. Now we get a chance to heal up everybody else on the team. Going to come in Divine Blades on Aethel. Going to come in on the AoE attack from Berserker. And then we're just going to A1 hammer away with Soulbond Bowyer. Now, we can stun somebody. So who am I going to stun? I'm going to go after the champion the highest turn meter. Right in the back. Boom. Stun, landed, loses the turn, reduce turn meter on everybody else. It's a beautiful thing, guys. It's a beautiful thing. All right, here we go with the A3. Reduce the cooldown of the A2 from Aethel, and things are looking pretty good here. Now, these mobs are level 290. They have a ton of HP, and we can't let them really get one turn. So far, none of the enemies have taken a turn. So we're always going to go after the enemy that is not CC'd with the highest turn meter, okay? Decreased speed is great. At this point, we have 3 unstunned enemies, so we can go in with another AoE. Highest turn meter, you in the back. And we can come in with another AoE on the A3. Now, this time, we're going to use Solmon's A3 ability so we can decrease turn meter on this guy in the back and kill him. That's even better. At this point, we're going to use one more A3 from Kurzad, and then we're going to A1 cycle to the next wave. So it's A1 cycle time. The cool thing is in situations like this, right? Let's just say that we A1 cycled a little bit too late, right? If we kill somebody with Ashwalker's A1 when they're low on health, like this situation right here, I'm not sure if it's going to kill him, but if he did, and this was still off cooldown, it would reset that cooldown ability. So let's see if we can kill him. Of course we don't, but you guys get the point, right? So now we come into a fresh wave, and we made it through the first wave without anybody attacking us. Here we come. Again, we land 1 stun and 1 leech. Fantastic stuff. Weaken on everybody. Another stun there on Aethel's A3, 2, 3. Here we come in with the A2 of Kurzad and the A1 of Solbon. Now, here it goes. That was the first attack, guys. And look what it did to our health. That's what happens, guys. We lose. So, it's a reset. Bad RNG. Not bad RNG. It's just RNG, right? But this is, I'm going to take you back. I don't cut losses on these videos, guys. But this is why this is the most challenging content in Raid Shadow Legends, these secret rooms. All it takes is 1 turn, or 2 turns in that case, from an enemy, and we're toast. That's it. We're dead. That's why I'm running everybody in a stun set with Fearsome Presence. That is why. Again, 1 hit right there. 1 hit. And look what it did to our health, guys, across the board. And we can't even afford to lose 1 ally here. We can't lose 1 champion. I'm going to come back when we get to the second wave. This actually started out pretty bad too. But I'll be right back to where we left off. All right, guys, back at the second wave here. Here we go. Backbreaker is down. 1 stun, 2 stun, 3 stun. Yay. Here we go. A2 and A3 and A2. Come on, we need 2 stuns. These 2 cold hearts, man. I think we're going to be toast again. Oh, and she resisted too. Fantastic. Can we land a stun? Okay, we can reduce turn meter. We land 1 stun, we reduce turn meter. Okay. We're still in it, guys. We're still in it. That's 2 stuns. Okay. Whew. Let's see. What are we looking at here? I think in the back, right? Okay. Higher blessing, extra turn. Yikes. We cannot afford even 1 more hit here, guys. We get a stun there. That's big. We need a stun right here. Oh, we need an AoE attack is what we really need. I can't see that turn meter. Okay, we're good over there. Actually, we're sitting really good right here. Decreased speed, stun, we're good there. Let's go ahead and get this cold heart down. Let's go ahead and get the AoE nuke in there. And now let's hope that we can just hammer away here in the left. Okay, decreased speed was huge. She's stunned now. We're good. All right, going up to the third wave, guys. Ooh, the anticipation. The excitement. Now, once we get to the third wave, we're actually looking really good because we have a little bit more room to play with, meaning we can afford to lose like a champion or 2, maybe 3, you know. It's not ideal, and we're landing no stuns here. It's not looking good all of a sudden. It's not looking good all of a sudden, guys. I mean, that was such bad luck, not getting any stuns. But again, this is where Ashwalker comes in with that turn... Oh! That turn meter decrease. All right, guys. Yikes. We are not looking so good here, but it's not done yet. Lightning pick. Need that one to be... Ooh, Ashwalker's down. I don't have any AoEs up right now. Oh, so close. So close. But an L is an L. I'll be back on the third wave. I spoke too soon. Be right back. All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Third time's a charm, man. Third time's a charm. I think it's important. There's a reason that I'm keeping these in the video, right? I think it's important to understand, especially once you get to this sort of content, that this is part of it, right? It is luck based to some extent, right? The strategy, because we have a 23% chance of landing a stunt, right? It's not always going to land. So a lot of people, I could picture them doing this and then thinking to themselves, well, what the heck am I doing wrong? You know, when the YouTubers do it, they do it every time. So that's why I like to sometimes include the losses, you know, and come back to where we were. It looks like this time, I don't want to speak too soon again, but it looks like we're really quite a bit better off. You in the back. Boom. Decrease turn meter. A3. And that really should probably do it. Hopefully. Try to get this one out of there. Yeah. One man down. All right, let me see these turn meters here. Okay, in the back. Boom. All right, cool. Just wanted to get rid of them right there, but yeah. So this one is done now. I would also advise, as you noticed with me here, I would advise when you get to these secret rooms, guys, don't do them on auto. You're just asking for a loss, you know. So there we go, a few turns off of our best, but Ashwalker put out 246,000 damage. Out damaged slightly by, you know, our more DPS champions on Kurzad, Soulmond, and Berserker, but he kind of hung with the crowd, and he brought a lot of control as well, and the speed aura. So I really, really like this champion, guys. I hopefully you enjoyed this guide. Definitely not an S tier rare or anything like that. I would say he's probably like a C, you know, a C, maybe a C+. That weaken is really nice. Obviously, it's extrapolating more damage out of our other champions as well, plus the control, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.